17%. That's the proc chance of Spirit Breaker's Greater Bash ability. His attacks have a 17% chance to stun the enemy. So let's see if I can get through this YouTube intro without being interrupted by the resident space cow. Hi Internet Wanderer, my name is Argonax the Valve Guy, and today I want to make a quick follow-up video to my previous Dota video about how Dota desensitizes you to playing other games. Which, by the way, thank you a lot for watching that video. It's my most viewed video on the channel right now. For those who didn't watch it, I basically talk about why Dota acts as my gateway to online competitive gaming, and why that is both a good and bad thing. My gaming canon event, in other words. So this will be a shorter video since I already covered most of the big talking points in that previous video, but I still have a lot to say about why Dota is amazing. From its a great client, the quality of life features that it has, the fact that it's a Steam game with all the perks that implies, and to cap off this video, I want to showcase more bullshit abilities that makes Dota truly a one-of-a-kind game that other games couldn't even dream about having its completely busted spells. Dota has the best busted spells. Shit. I think that's all I have. Bar, can you please stop bashing? Okay, that's enough. Please. Okay. I hope you enjoyed the video, and this will be a mess. Apologies again, and I didn't win. So today I'm going to try to keep this video as concise as I possibly can. After all, I respect your time, and you're respecting me by watching this video. Thanks for that, by the way.
Hi, this is Argonax from the future. So, I was wrong. The scope of this video has ballooned massively. So, unfortunately, whenever I say this video will be short and concise, yeah, that's a fucking lie. I just wanted you all to know that. Thank you.
So, like I said earlier, this is going to be a continuation of my previous video. And while I cover a lot in there was definitely some things that I missed. In fact, there was a lot of things that I forgot to include into that video that I'm now gonna lump all into this one. And for those who haven't watched the first video, I just need to add this further context. Everything that I'm going to say in this video is from the perspective of someone who played Dota for his formative years of online gaming, and thus all my other experiences with other online games will be shaped and compared to Dota. And the more that I play other games, the more I realize Dota just has a lot of things that are exclusive to it, and how I wish these other games had these features. Valve spoils us with the game polish and punishes us with the game design, but I'll get into that later into the video. Case in point, Dota 2 has, in my opinion, the absolute best client in the gaming world. Client as in anything that isn't the game itself, if that makes sense. This involves the main menu, the options tab, the features within the main menu, the lobby system, the arcade system, even the demo mode system, the UI, the loading screens. Basically anything in the game that allows you to interact with the game itself is related to the client. And starting off on this client glazing would have to go to Dota 2's demo feature. Out of all competitive character-driven games, I have to say, Dota has the best demo mode. It's fast to load, easy to use, and it's very configurable. Hell, not even counting hero and spell interactions, the demo mode lets you test out all the cosmetics that your hero has available to them, even the ones that cost hundreds of dollars. You can even mix and match them. Imagine that! Being able to physically see and play around with the cosmetics before you buy them. Huh, it's really nice that Dota lets you do that. Hey, League of Legends. Oh, that's a nice splash art you got there. What does the in-game model look like? Yeah, let's keep that splash art. And before anyone says that I'm cherry-picking with this example, this skin came out in 2016. Crystal Maiden has been around since the very beginning of Dota back in 2011. And I can zoom in all the way to her face, and would you look at that, she doesn't look like a PlayStation 1 character.
No. Wait. Hello, motherfucker.
Let's drop the League of Legends bullying for just a moment. Don't worry, I'll resume later in the video. I mentioned in my previous video how I hate the fact that you have to unlock other playable characters in other competitive character-driven games. Unfortunately, it is the norm that you have to grind out to unlock these other characters. God forbid you want to counterpick somebody, but you don't have the character unlocked. The point is, if companies are going to choose to do that, at the very least, they should give you the option to demo these characters before you make your purchase. Honestly, that just seems like the bare minimum. And if these humble billionaire companies can take this extra step and also allow us to demo their cosmetics, that would be such a godsend. I know I'm asking for a lot, especially for the small indie developers, but you know, it's the thought that counts. And while I'm on the topic of cosmetics and microtransactions, I thought a law had passed that stopped all these companies from using their artificial made-up in-game currencies to justify microtransactions. Like, what is a V-Buck? What is a Riot Point? Nobody knows. But the only thing we do know is that if you want to load up your account, they charge you in such a scummy way to make sure that you can never buy the right amount for the cosmetic you want. It's always going to be just short or just a little too much. Scummy behavior. In Dota and hell, even Counter-Strike or any other Steam game that respects itself, all items and microtransactions will be priced relative to your region and currency. If you see an item that is worth 50 cents, it is worth 50 cents. It's not worth 0.05 Steam money. No, you have your digital good and the price tag right below it. Dota and Valve are not trying to pull the wool over your eyes when it comes to buying cosmetics. Sorry, I'm getting a little fucking worked up. Holy shit. I'm happy that most gamers are waking up to the concept that most game companies are trying to fuck you over and people are not okay with this anymore. But we still have a long way to go. So, thank you, Microsoft, for shooting yourself in the foot. Anyway, sorry, let's get back on topic. Why Dota 2's demo mode is the best. Dota 2's demo mode is so well optimized. There was a famous clip from a few years ago during a pro tournament where one of them disconnected from the match to load up the demo mode in order to test out a hero interaction to see whether or not their hero's level 25 upgrade would be able to counter someone on the enemy team. They were in a match, they disconnected, opened up demo mode, tested the interaction, and loaded back in. All of this happened in about 20 to 30 seconds. And again, I need to mention, they were able to do this because Dota has a pause feature. Before I move on to talking about the options tab, there is one thing that I kind of just want to show off. One of my favorite things to do in the demo mode is select the character Ursa, whose passive grants him the ability to have infinitely stacking and multiplying physical damage. Have him hit the dummy and see how high this number could go. I also added these heroes because they also had ways to increase the damage per second on the dummy. So for the rest of this video, I'm gonna have good old Ursa up on screen, just mindlessly hitting this courier, sped up, and let's see how high that number will be by the end of the video. I left this running for like an hour and a half, I think. Anyway, the next thing to glaze, the options tab. Now, anyone in the audience who might just say, "Ooh, it's just a main menu. What's the big deal?" And to you, imaginary strawman, all I have to say is, you clearly didn't look deep enough into the guts of this thing. Rest assured, I did that to your mom last night. Sorry. Dota 2's client has so many quality of life features and just straight up options that I didn't know could be options. Anyone who has spent more than 20 minutes perusing its various menus and drop-down windows and all sorts of things will probably agree with me when they say that Dota 2 really does spoil us in terms of how configurable this game is. For example, keybinds, something that is quite important, especially when you need to manage all of the spells your character has. In Dota, you can give each individual hero unique character hotkeys. That includes differentiating them if you want the spell to be a normal cast, a quick cast, key up, key down. Every single Dota hero, if you want, can have a different keybind and a different way that the spell interacts with your options. That is insane. And as a little cherry on top, you can also customize the keybinds for your courier and jungle monsters. And for all of you fellow Dota 1 players in the audience, haha, you're old, like me, but also I know a few of you still play with legacy keys. For those who don't know, the spellbinds back in Dota 1 were, questionable, to say the least. But if you still want to play with those controls, the option is there. And the option is also there if you want to make your keybinds to be extra funny. And knowing you guys out there, some of you probably have some weird ass fucking hotkeys for your spells.
For my items, I have P, N, minus, exclamation point, and the dollar symbol.
What the fuck? Are you fucking with me?
No!
No way.
Dollar symbol.
Say this again, dude.
I have P, N, minus, equals, and the dollar symbol. Why are you laughing?
I can't believe it.
Don't laugh. You're supposed to be a teacher.
Oh my god, I'm crying, dude. I can't. That could have been a skit, dude. That could have been an actual skit that you wrote and spent like minutes theorycrafting would be the funniest 6 hotkeys. And you fucking said them, dude. And that's just what you have.
Under the game tab, there's also a lot of toggles that you can do when it comes to giving your units orders. It goes so in depth, you can tweak milliseconds if you wanted to. There's options about how you want HP bars to be displayed. There's even this experimental lab option right here that I would highly recommend you guys to check out. Some of you might not even know that this is a feature in the options tab, but please give it a look. And there are some nice things in here, particularly this keybind right here, the one that makes it that spells can only interact with heroes. It's a lifesaver. You should honestly bind this to something. It's a really good keybind. I already mentioned the chat wheel in my previous video. You should go watch it. Link in the video description below. But TLDR, the chat wheel is a great tool that allows for seamless team play and good vibes. But realistically, this thing is mostly used to piss off enemies and your teammates.
Sorry.
The hero tab can also be customized as well. If you wanted to shuffle around the heroes, you can. If you wanted to make new categories, you can. If you wanted to make an in-game tier list, you can. Sort them by color, alphabetical order, I don't fucking care. Turn it into a meme, I know a lot of you guys have. Take a look at these. Another feature that you would think other games would have, but apparently they just don't, in-game community guides. As far as I know, almost every other MOBA, if you wanted to have a player guide, a hero guide, you need to open it on a separate monitor or they would be accessible via third-party programs. Think Paro Professor from League of Legends. Yeah, every other MOBA doesn't have built-in in-game community-made guides. They added this feature in Deadlock, but that's to be expected. Both games are made by Valve and IceFrog after all. I'm going to assume that probably some MMOs or RPGs out there have in-game community guides, but I'm more so talking about in context of competitive games. Think Valorant, Marvel Rivals, Apex Legends. These types of hyper-serious games would benefit massively from a feature like this, but apparently they just don't have them as far as I know. Please correct me in the comment section below. I'm rather ignorant on this topic. But the fact that other MOBAs don't have this is mind-boggling. Oh, hold on, I'm getting a report. Apparently, Smite 2 implemented it. Allegedly. I would confirm this, but nobody plays that game, so... And I completely forgot to mention this in the other video, the arcade tab. This is how you know that Dota is a great game, because you get more game per game in this game. You have the game of Dota, then you have all the other official game modes under the play tab. But if these will not suffice, you can go to the arcade tab and then voila, you have an entire selection of custom-made games at your disposal. And believe me, these custom games are not niche. These games have tens of thousands of people playing at any given point of the day. In fact, just a few years ago, this arcade tab was responsible for birthing an entirely new game genre, the auto chess genre. I remember whenever auto chess was starting to take off, I think it was late 2019, thereabouts, there were hundreds of thousands, multiple hundreds of thousands of people logging into Dota, not to play the game, but only just to play auto chess. It was one of the biggest player spikes in Dota history because people were logging in just to play this custom game mode. This is really the culmination of Valve's philosophy when it comes to making games. Valve loves turning mods into game. Warcraft 3 got modded into Dota 1. Dota 1 was acquired by Valve and turned into Dota 2, which then Dota 2 itself got modded and birthed the auto chess genre, which caused all these other companies to make their own standalone games. A mod of a mod of a mod. It's got RTS games, tower defense games. It even has a top-down Counter-Strike game mode. Personally, my favorite was Custom Hero Chaos and all the other similar game modes. I know for some of my other Valve audiences, this should not be surprising, but remember, we are spoiled by Valve. Valve encourages us to make custom-made content. Other games, not so. Maybe as time goes on, more and more game companies are opening to the idea of player-made content. That's kind of becoming the philosophy of Fortnite, and hell, Roblox has been doing it for a long time, on top of abusing its underage player base. Also, I hope you guys appreciate what I had to go through in order to record this footage. Do you have any idea how many flashing lights and bright transition slides Fortnite and Roblox YouTubers use? The entire time I was recording that footage, my room was lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. Hell, forget about custom games for a second. The official Valve-made minigames and seasonal game modes are, most of the time, peak. In fact, I'm gonna do a little test for my audience right now. This is how I know if you guys are based. Will you guys agree with me when I say Nest of Thorns is good enough to be its own standalone game. I would pay Valve real money just to make sure that Aghanim's Labyrinth and Aghanim's Pathfinder was a permanent game mode in this game. It was so goddamn good. My friends who are League of Legends purists who absolutely hate Dota just as much as I hate League, they were bugging me at all times of the day just to hop on and play some Aghanim's Labyrinth. That's how good that game mode was. Please, Valve, bring it back. And just because I want to relate this video to my Dota 2 RTS video, link also below in the video description if you haven't seen that one, you can open up your scoreboard and allow your teammates to have full control over your hero if you want them to have it. You can enable unit control, take your hands off the keyboard, and let your teammates play your hero for you. That's right, you can graduate from player to spectator mid-match. Thank you, Valve. Great feature. Alright, I think it's time to talk about the thing that we really wanted to see. Dota 2's bullshit heroes. And don't you worry, I got a new selection of bullshit heroes to show off for you guys. And to act as an audio treat, because this song has been stuck in my head for the last 3 days and it reminds me of the old Dota what the fuck days, I'm gonna explain everything to the wonderful melody of Pepsi Man Eurobeat. Full credit goes to Turbo. Their Eurobeat remixes are the best in the entire platform. Hey, editing Argo from the future, crank that shit up! This is so peak, man. Let's get into it. First up is Underlord. He's a big slug. He likes circles. He's got 2 of them. One of them burns, the other one stops the enemies from moving. The second circle is some bullshit because with some proper items, he can ensure that everyone on the enemy team is playing musical chairs, except the music never stops. Look at the goddamn screen. It is covered in circles. Nobody can fucking move. I love playing this character because he is brain dead easy. You think I'm gonna play Invoker? Hell no, I'm gonna play the Circle Boy all day until I get out of the legend bracket, which is never. Sniping's a good job, mate, especially if you can hit people from another screen away with your normal attacks. Oh, and half of your shots push the enemy away. No. For reference, here is the range of a normal hero. Yeah, good luck trying to compete with this guy. Battlefield 6 just came out, and I like the game. However, I hate that modern shooters have sniper glint. What did Dota's sniper do? He said, fuck that shit, and with his first facet, this means you cannot see him when he is shooting you from another zip code away. Do you want me to trigger all of the old Dota heads in the audience? All I need to say is, ho ho, haha. You know how like all MOBA characters have universal limitations, namely cooldowns? Do you want to know what Tinker says to cooldowns?
No. Why? The Tinker is a deadly laser.
His ultimate just allows him to reset all of his spells. That's it, no cooldown. The only limitation for him is mana cost, which isn't really a limitation, I'll tell you later. He's got a laser, an army of robots, a bullshit shield, and a global teleport. He saw what Nature's Prophet was doing and said, that's some hippie shit. So if you can freely teleport back and forth from the fountain, mana isn't really a real limitation, now is it? And believe it or not, he used to be way worse. His ultimate used to reset items as well. It's not the case anymore, thank God, and nowadays he is now considered a balanced hero. I love the lies I tell myself. Dota has 3 types of damage: physical, magical, and pure damage. Omni Knight can say fuck you to all of them. Repel makes magic damage deal damn near nothing, and pure damage spells do actual nothing. Same goes for physical damage in his ultimate Guardian Angel. The only spells that'll work are immunity piercing spells, assuming you have any, and let's be real, your Herald teammates probably don't even know what a BKB is. So, what happens when an Omni Knight turns his hyper carry into an immortal, unkillable being? Oh, the hyper carry is online. Yeah, the hyper carry, yeah! I don't know. Terrorblade is another hyper carry. His ultimate allows him to do this.
Oh, call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
His ultimate, Sunder, allows him to hack the in-game UI settings and lets him swap health bars with you. It's based off percentages, not raw numbers. He can also cast it on allies. And, let's be honest, a lot of unconsenting support players have been at the receiving end of his Sunder. Say hello to Slardar. He's kinda like Spirit Baker. You know, the guy from the intro of the video? Except he bashes on every 4th attack. So therefore, with enough attack speed, you can permanently bash someone. Forget about allowing an ally to control your hero so you can become a spectator. Slardar himself can turn you into a spectator, whether you want to or not. Look Look at this shit. You literally cannot move as long as he is bonking your head. And just because I like seeing people get bonked, here are all the heroes who can also bash, hitting the dummy because we need 2 clips of heroes wailing on the target dummy. In case you forgot, Ursa is right up there. And speaking of attack speed, this is how fast a level 1 hero can attack. This is how fast a typical fully farmed carry can attack. This is how fast Slardar can attack when his entire inventory is filled with attack speed items. And then you have Alchemist, a high-functioning fentanyl addict that, with enough attack speed items, he can attack so fast you literally cannot even see his animations looping properly. Valve, please fix. Just like all MOBAs, Dota has a lot of characters who have infinite scaling mechanics. Anytime they get a kill, a number goes up. But that's kinda boring, isn't it? I prefer something a little more exotic. Kinda like downloading a car, stealing stats is way better. Slark and Silencer can permanently steal your stats forever for the rest of the game. Agility for Slark, intelligence for Silencer. Meaning, if you die to these 2 goobers, you get arthritis and Alzheimer's at the same time. Talk about a 2-in-1 special. If the game goes on long enough, and believe me, it can, you'll end up with no armor, no attack speed, no mana, you're basically a creep with a slightly bigger health bar. In other words, my lane partner anytime I play solo ranked. And to finally end this section, I got 2 more heroes to show off for you. Almost all MOBA characters have 4 very powerful abilities. Okay, cool, but what if a character had 14? Here's Invoker. He has a shit ton of spells. I will not explain any of them. Instead, here's a clip of somebody unloading an entire RTS game's worth of APM onto a team fight. There's definitely some particle effects happening there. Ooh, numbers, wow. And throughout this entire series, I've shown you a list of extremely powerful abilities and spells. So, here's Rubik. He can take your bullshit spell, any bullshit spell, he doesn't care or discriminate, copy and use it against you, but with more damage, more duration, and more range. In other words, these 2 guys are fucking nerds. Okay, I think that's enough Eurobeat. Let me tone it back a little bit. My nervous system is crashing from caffeine withdrawal. But I'm not done yet. One more demonstration for the road. Here's Doom. I showed him in the previous video before, but I just want to show how much more powerful he can be if you completely min-max his ability. As a refresher, his ultimate is called Doom. It deals a shit ton of damage, it silences you, and prevents all healing. This ultimate actually turns you into an NPC for 16 seconds. However, if you take his 3rd facet, Impending Doom, which increases its duration as the game goes on, and believe me, Dota games can last up to an hour. So after the 1 hour mark, Doom can last 21 seconds. And if you get this item, which increases duration by 15%, that's 24.5 seconds. Get an Aghanim Scepter, which causes his Doom to become a big circle, and you get a Refresher Orb and a Refresher Shard. You can cast your ultimate 3 times in a row. So at the bare minimum, Doom can use his ultimate to shut down a minimum of 3 heroes, but more likely, the entire enemy team for almost 30 seconds. Imagine if a hero had an ability to just turn off your monitor, because that's basically what he's doing to you. You might as well just take your hands off the keyboard and just queue up for your next match at that point. But I think that's enough demonstration for today, and as I'm looking at the runtime of this video, it's clear to see that this video has kinda lost the plot. It kinda exploded in terms of its scope. So I will end this video thusly. As time goes on, more games become more streamlined, more accessible, but at the same time, video game industry practices become scummier and focus less on the quality of life for the gamer. In my opinion, Dota does both of these things perfectly. It doesn't attempt to streamline anything. Valve knows that the people who play Dota and their games are dedicated to the games that they do play. And the last thing that we want is for them to dumb down this game. And the last thing we also want is for Valve to stop providing us with the best possible service that they can give. Yes, the game is punishing, but at the same time, its features are groundbreaking. The quality of life compared to other games is unheard of. It's a type of dichotomy that you really can't find in any other game. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. But what do you think, Internet Wanderer? Do you agree with everything that I've shown off in this video? Let me know in the comment section down below. That's gonna be it for me, Internet Wanderer. Here's the damage Ursa was able to rack up on the dummy. And of course, thanks for watching. Do the YouTube things.